Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of The Banhammer, or what would happen if we decided to unban these ridiculous cards. Once again, joining me...
That's two names. That's very confusing.
It's not two names. It's a descriptive thing, all right?
Oh, it's like a long book title with the two names?
No, it's not continuous name. It's like, all right, whatever. Anyway, Carl jumping in again. It's fine. Just before I was about to introduce Carl and Dan, I called you Can and Daryl. Today we're going to be looking at Mental Misstep. Okay, so it is a Phyrexian card, so it costs Phyrexian mana. I think it's blue is the color on it. And the effect is counter target spell with converted mana cost 1. Now, when I was reading this initially, I didn't really understand why a card like this was banned. Okay? But then I thought about it. And this will show that I am capable of learning like some sort of like complex AI, okay? Because I thought about it and then went, no, this is actually a really, really good card on curve. And that's why it's probably banned.
Is that your final answer?
And that is what I think it's banned, but that is not the question. The question is, why is it banned, guys?
Oh, it goes way deeper than that.
Way deeper?
You take this part away.
Actually, I've been talking about a lot of the other ones. You can go ahead with this one.
I can't pass off the work this
So, I've got to do some work, damn it. So, I think this was never... I think it was legal in Modern.
It was never legal in Modern.
It was never legal. Okay, I'm wrong already. But no, this card, like, even if it was banned in Modern for a very short period of time, it wasn't. But even if it was, it would have been banned very, very quickly. This card is insane because essentially, in Modern especially, you are low to the ground, make things happen turn 1, 2, and 3 with the aim to win on turn 3 to 4. So when most of your deck is 1-drops and your opponent pays 0 mana, they pay 2 life to, so it goes to any deck. You don't have to be playing blue, any deck. You pay 2 life and you counter their Thoughtseize, their Lightning Bolt, their whatever. But it goes one step deeper than that.
Okay.
Because your opponent would also be playing Mental Misstep, because if they're not playing Mental Misstep, they can't play 1-drops.
Okay.
So you would counter their Thoughtseize, they would Mental Misstep your Mental Misstep, you would then Mental Misstep their Mental Misstep, and it would just become a game of whoever has the most Mental Missteps in their opening hand probably wins, or at least has a huge advantage.
Right.
I would say the card is insane.
Yeah.
The card is boring as heck.
That is very true, yeah.
That's exactly what Dan said. Is usually when they auto-abandon in Modern is because they saw what it did in Legacy. And in Legacy, as in Modern right now as well, you want to lower your curve as much as possible. You want to play as many 1, 2, 3 drops to be able to not play that many lands to capitalize on the amount of spells you have and the amount of spells you can play per turn. The thing is, a format that revolves around tempo and having a lot of 1-drops, as soon as someone's playing Mental Missteps, there's a huge difference between the hand of someone with Mental Misstep and someone with not, because you just get to pick one of their first spells and be like, nope, you don't cast that. Right? For no mana. You could play your 1-drop, and then they play their 1-drop, and you're like, no, you don't get a 1-drop, only I do.
Not today,
so,
skip your turn.
To prevent this really bad feeling from happening, the only thing other people can do is play another Mental Misstep. But they're free, because if you don't pay blue, you can pay 2 mana, 2 life in any color. So basically, everyone plays Mental Missteps, meaning no one has fun. So it's not that the card is necessarily broken, it's just boring as heck.
Okay, so then, like, what would happen to the current meta if it was unbanned?
It would suck.
Other than it being terrible, apparently.
So, this is going to be a hot take here.
Oh.
Living End would be the best deck in the format. Or Crashing Footfalls.
Very briefly, why?
It can't play 1-drops or 2-drops.
Oh, sick.
So when everybody's playing, because everybody would play Mental
What about
Misstep.
Tron?
Well, Tron plays 1-drops. And an important 1-drop expedition map is really important. So, like, everybody would play Mental Misstep, and Mental Misstep does literally nothing against Cascade decks. Maybe after sideboard did they bring something, but they never would.
Yeah,
so,
But you know what does good against Cascade decks? Specifically Living End, just about any other graveyard interaction, which isn't your sideboard anyways, so Mental Misstep is not the problem with Living End. The lack of Mental Missteps.
Why'd you hate all of my decks? I've gone away from elves.
So speaking of a deck that can't exist in a world with Mental
That is
Misstep.
true, yeah. That is very true. So, yeah. Basically, what would happen is that you would be playing no 1-drops, or you'd be playing 4 Mental Missteps every deck. Every deck, even decks that just don't like playing spells like that.
Phyrexian mana was a mistake because everyone gets to play it and they don't even need to spend mana. Like artifacts, kind of problematic because any deck can play them if they're too powerful. Phyrexian mana, anyone can play them, and they don't even need to tap out to do so.
Yeah.
So it's Mental Misstep is it's not that it would necessarily be absolutely broken, it's just some decks would have to disappear, but generally everyone would be considerably having less fun and starting at 18 life a lot more often.
Yeah.
I mean, it could slow the game down a little bit, though. Don't you want, like,
It could
a
slow
few
the game
extra
down,
turns?
but I mean,
no?
Wizards of the Coast have always banned cards. I mean, like, I think part of the reason Smuggler's Copter got banned in Standard is because, like, it's a 4-off in every deck in, like, a top 8 at a Pro Tour. Of course, the card was broken as well, but, like, you played the card because it was colorless and it goes into every deck, pretty much.
You know, decks have a different identity.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
A different identity.
A different identity, yes. Sorry, yeah. My brain shut off there for a second. I was like, French, yes. What has happened?
Identity.
So the ultimate question is, would you guys unban it?
You go first.
Absolutely not. As I've outlined,
Yeah,
it would
you've
be
been very clear.
boring
You've been
as
very,
heck.
very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before this video, I was like, absolutely not, 100%. But you laughed at Living End, so now I want my chance to prove Living End.
Yeah, I don't want Modern to be a boring sandwich. We're not
Yeah.
doing this.
No, seriously, never unbanned. Like, out of every card on the ban list, this one has probably the least amount of chance.
Yeah.
Even in the perfect format for it.
Yawn City. We're not
No
doing
way.
that.
That was very, very quick and easy general consensus. Thank you guys very much.
You're very welcome.
See you on the next Banhammer. Calling it up.
Why not?